The one thing I haven't mentioned is something called Raynaud's disease. Raynaud's is a disease that affects your extremities. In my case, and there are people who are a lot worse, who were a lot worse than me. I worked with a lady whose hands used to swell up to twice the size. It was awful, awful. So terrible trouble with, we perceived to be Raynaud's disease, and very debilitating for her. In my case, I would lose the feeling in my hands. If my core temperature dropped too low, it seems, then I would completely lose the feeling in my hands and they would be useless. I couldn't feel them and I wouldn't be able to do anything until the feeling started to come back, and then it would be horrible pins and needles, quite painful whilst it was coming back. I didn't really get the blue and some people get blue fingers. I didn't really get that. I just completely lost. I'd had that for years, and there was no predicting. I was paranoid of cold weather because I never knew when it was going to happen. But even in the summertime, if we were out summer and in an evening, and it rained and I got cold, they would go, and then my hands would be useless. Now, this was supposedly another thing that's kind of in the family. My uncle suffers from it. And you're told, no, there's nothing we can do about that. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Well, that's gone. I haven't had an attack in 5 years.
And sorry, it was, I mean, you're in the UK, it gets cold often there, right? Like, yeah. The attacks must have been pretty frequent before that.
There wasn't any pattern to it. It was more a case of how I controlled my exposure to cold weather, if you see what I mean. I'd get cold